Hi, my name is Brandon Santillan, and today I will be reading for you Fablehaven by Brandon Mull. It's one of my personal favorites. Um, Fablehaven is about how the fables that you know of, trolls, ogres, fairies, like those creatures exist, and they have special places they live to keep them safe that people don't know about. The That's what this story is about. Um, Fablehaven is one of them. Our main characters, Kendra and Seth Sorensen, go to visit their grandparents for the summer because their parents have gone on a cruise and they have to stay with somebody. Only adults can go on this cruise. It's for all ages. The book is about for all ages. Kendra and Seth come and they think that life is going to be pretty boring, but it turns out it's not. And they soon learn the secrets of Fablehaven throughout the first book. Anyway, I'm going to be reading chapter 10, Midsummer's Eve, and I hope you enjoy. Chapter 10, Midsummer Eve. Grandpa prodded the logs in the fireplace with a poker. A shower of sparks swirled up the chimney as one log split open, revealing an interior of glowing embers. Dale poured himself a cup of steaming coffee, adding 3 spoonfuls of sugar. Lena peered out the window, through the blinds. "The summer will reach the horizon in moments," she announced. Kendra sat beside Seth on the sofa, watching Grandpa stoke the fire. The preparations were all in place. The entrances to the house were crowded with jack-o'-lanterns. Lena had been right. Dale had carved more than 200 of them. Not quite 30 fairies had reported for duty. Many fewer than Grandpa had expected, even given the recent strained relations. 8 of the fairy lanterns were placed on the roof outside the attic, 4 at each window. Glow sticks illuminated most of the pumpkins, 2 in each. Grandpa Sorensen apparently ordered them in bulk. "Will it start right when the sun goes down?" Seth asked. "Things won't really get going until twilight fades," Grandpa said, setting the poker beside the other irons. "But the hour has come for you children to retire to your room." "I want to stay up with you," Seth said. "The attic bedroom is the safest place in the house," Grandpa said. "Why don't we all stay in the attic?" Kendra asked. Grandpa shook his head. "The spells that make the attic impenetrable function only if it is occupied by children. Without children, or with adults in the room, the barriers become ineffectual." "Isn't the whole house supposed to be safe?" Kendra asked. "I believe so, but on an enchanted preserve, nothing is ever certain. I am concerned by the scant number of fairies who reported this afternoon. I worry this could be a particularly uproarious Midsummer's Eve, perhaps the worst since I've lived here." A long, mournful howl underscored his statement. The disturbing call was answered by a stronger howl, closer, that ended with a cackle. Chills tingled behind Kendra's shoulders. "The sun is gone," Lena reported from the window. She squinted, then put a hand to her mouth. Closing the slate, she stepped away from the blinds. "They're already entering the yard." Kendra leaned forward. Lena really looked upset. She had paled visibly. Her dark eyes were unsettled. Grandpa scowled. "Real trouble?" She nodded. Grandpa clapped his hands together. "Up to the attic." The tension in the room prevented Kendra from uttering any protest. Apparently Seth sensed the same urgency. Grandpa Sorensen followed them up the stairs, down the hall, and up in their bedrooms. "Get under your covers." "What's around the beds?" Seth asked, examining the floor. "Circles of special salt," Grandpa said. "An extra protection." Kendra stepped carefully over the salt, pulled back the covers, and climbed into bed. The sheets felt cool. Grandpa handed her a pair of small, spongy cylinders. Earplugs, he said, passing a pair to Seth as well. I suggest you wear them. They should help mute the tumulant so you can sleep. Just cram them in our ears? Seth said, eyeing one suspiciously. That's the idea, Grandpa said. An eruption of high-pitched laughter blared up from the yard. Kendra and Seth exchanged a concerned glance. Grandpa took a seat at the edge of Kendra's bed. I need you kids to be brave and responsible for me tonight, he said. They nodded silently. You should know, he went on, I didn't let you come here merely as a favor to your parents. Your grandmother and I are getting on in years. The day will come when somebody else will need to care for this preserve. We need to find heirs. Dale is a good man, but he has no interest in running things here. You kids have impressed me so far. You are bright, adventurous, and courageous. There are some unpleasant aspects of living here. Festival nights are a good example. Perhaps you wonder why we don't just go all spend the night in a hotel. If we did, we would return to find the house in ruins. Our presence is essential to the magic that protects these walls. If you are ever going to be involved with the work on this preserve, you will need to learn to cope with certain unpleasant realities. Look at tonight as a test. If the chaotic clamor outside is too much for you, then you do not belong here. There is no shame in this. People who belong here are rare. We'll be fine, Seth said. I believe you will. Listen carefully to my final instructions. Once I leave the room, no matter what you hear, no matter what happens, do not leave your beds. We will not come to check on you until morning. You may think you hear me, or Dale, or Lena asking to come in, but be forewarned. It will not be us. This room is invulnerable unless you open a window or the door. Remain in your beds, and that will not happen. With the fairy lanterns at your windows, odds are that nothing will come near this part of the house. Try to ignore the tumulant of the night, and we'll share a special breakfast in the morning. Any questions? I'm scared, Kendra said. Don't go. You'll be safer without me. We'll be keeping watch downstairs all night. Everything will be fine. Just go to sleep. It's okay, Grandpa, Seth said. I'll keep an eye on her. Keep the other on yourself, Grandpa said sternly. You mind me tonight. This is no game. I will. Outside, the wind began to whistle through the trees. The day had been calm, but not a groaning gust shook the house. Overheard the shingles rattle and the timbers creaked. Grandpa crossed to the door. Strange winds are blowing. I better get downstairs. Good night. Sleep tight. I will greet you at sunrise. He closed the door. The wind subsided, and Goldilocks clucked softly. You've got to be kidding me, Kendra said. I know, Seth said. I'm practically wetting the bed. I don't think I'll sleep at all tonight. I know. I won't. We better try, said Kendra. Okay. Kendra inserted the earplugs, closing her eyes. She curled up and smuggled into her covers. All she had to do was fall asleep, and she could escape the frightening sounds of the night. She forced herself to relax, letting her body go limp, and tried to clear her mind. It was hard not to fantasize about inheriting the estate. No way would they give it to Seth. He would blow the whole place up in 5 minutes. What would it be like to know all the mysterious secrets of Fablehaven? It might be scary if she were alone. She would have to share the secrets with her parents so they could live with her. After a couple of minutes, she rolled over to face the other direction. She always had a tough time falling asleep when she was too deliberate about it. She tried to think of nothing, tried to focus on calm, regular breathing. Seth was saying something, but the earplugs muffled it. She pulled them out. What? I said, the suspense is killing me. Are you actually using the earplugs? Of course. You're not? I don't want to miss anything. Are you crazy? I'm not tired at all, he said. Are you? Not much. Dare me to look out the window? Don't be stupid. It's barely sunset. What better time to look? How about never? You're a bigger chicken than Goldilocks. You've got a lot less brains than Hugo. The wind rose again, steadily gaining force. Warbling moans echoed on the breeze, groaning in different pitches, forming eerie, discordant harmonies. A long, bird-like scream overpowered the ghostly chorus of moans, starting at one side of the house, passing overhead, and finally fading in the distance. A bell began to toll. And that's where I will leave off. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed.